What if I told you that all of this is related to all of this? Because sports is more political than you think. When we watch sports, politics is often in the backdrop. Ever heard of soft power? It's the ability to attract and persuade. Basically, a marketing tool for countries to make themselves look good. This is where sports comes in. Because what better way to make your country look good than by winning sport competitions watched by the entire planet? Think Brazilian football, the US and basketball, or Jamaica and just being fast. But things can get a little sticky when a country has bad politics or serious internal divides and is still banking on some soft power. Take Syria, for example. The country was a goal away from making it to the World Cup. Yet there was this whole debate on whether it was worth celebrating Syria's would-be qualification. Because the coaching staff made statements in support of Bashar al-Assad and his regime. The problem is, if the team were to qualify, they would legitimize the actions of al-Assad's regime. Al-Assad, the guy who's killed hundreds of thousands of his people. The flag, the national anthem, and everything associated with the team would become a political tool distracting the world from the hardships Syrians are going through, possibly creating a false sense of unity to a country very much divided. We've seen things like this before. During the apartheid era, there was a boycott of South African sport teams. The movement highlighted segregation in sports and institutional racism in the country. But the poison became the cure. Because when apartheid was over, sports was used once again. But this time as a symbol of national reconciliation. And one of the most symbolic moments in sports history came when Nelson Mandela appeared in the 1995 Rugby World Cup final. Rugby, which typically represented the white elite and racial privilege, had been transformed into a vessel of national unity. And that's the thing about sports, right? It can be a means for reconciliation and dialogue, or fuel for nationalism and animosity. Can you believe the two countries actually went to war after a World Cup qualifier? Yeah, of course, football wasn't the only reason for the war between Honduras and El Salvador. Immigration and land reform were more to blame. But after El Salvador won 3-2, things escalated. Hondurans started attacking Salvadoran immigrants, and Salvador's army started attacking Honduras. After 100 hours of war, the lesson learned was that a football match could drive national pride to the point of war. But sports have also made countries make love, not war. Take, for example, the US-China ping-pong diplomacy. At the height of the Cold War during the 1970s, the US sent its ping-pong team to play Communist China. The result? The exchange brought both nations closer and paved way for a historic visit by President Nixon. Even though the US never won a ping-pong again. Journalists and politicians often use language to sway the public's opinion even when it comes to sports. Take Egypt, for example. When the country qualified for the World Cup recently, this is what one of the country's main presenters had to say about it.
مصر صعدت خلاص وانتصرنا وفي عهد الرئيس نعم في عهد الرئيس عبد الفتاح السيسي.
This guy cannot be serious. Somebody needs to get him and tell him that Sisi wasn't the guy who scored that penalty. If anything, Egypt qualified in the age of Mohamed Salah. Now the best case that shows the crossover between media, politics and sport is that of the French national football team. After Zidane's France won the 1998 World Cup, the slogan Black, Blanc et Beurre, or Black, White and Arab, was being thrown out to fetishize the multicultural makeup of the team. And the then President Jacques Chirac would frequently meet with the players and send the team on world tours to celebrate the greatness of French diversity. His popularity grew with every success of the team, and Les Bleus became a powerful political symbol, distracting the public from addressing deep-rooted issues like integration, racism and poverty. But when things got bad and Paris's suburbs were burning during the 2000s, things changed. The French team started underperforming and had a series of scandals. And now suddenly, the loyalty of the players was put into question. Was the team French enough? Did they embody French values? Why weren't the players singing the national anthem? Now, some French players reacted to this polarized socio-political reality. But that's the most interesting part about all of this. The fact that athletes can bring their own political message to the table, whether you agree with them or not. Like when Liliane Thuram called out Sarkozy for calling urban youth scum. Like when Mohamed Aboutrika displayed his solidarity with the Palestinians. Or when Colin Kaepernick started taking a knee to protest police brutality in the US. Now, in all cases, there were repercussions. A media outcry, fines, bans, or even unemployment. Some say athletes should stay away from politics. Yet when politicians want to take a stance, say after a terrorist attack or an anniversary of a dark moment in history, a moment of silence is enforced. So it seems like the guys calling the shots mix politics and sport only when they agree with the message. So do sports and politics mix? They most certainly do. Hey! But hey, relax.
Man, it's just a game.
Game, man, this time. It's a foul! Can you imagine? Or can we ask them if we can come at night? They would no way, yeah? Do it again, do it again. Was the team French enough? I died, sorry. Ahmed Ghunim reporting live from and some French players blah blah blah.
Well, how do you say go?
Les Bleus became a power. Alright, start again. The fact that athletes can bring a to the table. No, do it again. The political message that athletes, what do we say?